Revolution versus rebellion. What's the difference between the two things? Although both may sound similar, friends, but there's a big difference between the two. Revolution is a result of discontent among the entire society. When the whole society, the whole nation feels they need a change, but they are not able to get that change, that's when revolutions happen. Rebellion is when one set of the society is not happy with the government, and the people who fight that government, they are rebels. The thing is, revolution has got the support of everyone living in that society, while rebellion has got the support of only a set of that society. Now that set could be a small set or a big set. Could be 30% of the people of the population who are rebels, or could be that 70% of the people are rebels and only 30% are pro-government. But the thing is, in the case of a rebellion, there are two sides. One will definitely be powerful, the other will definitely be weaker. Now, the main thing about a rebellion is the moment you pick up a gun, to decide the fate of your country, you lose half the legitimacy of your cause. And the reason I say that is, the moment you pick up a gun, you are at a war. And the truth about the war is decided by the winning side. Let's take the example of Libya. When the revolt break out in Libya after the events in Egypt, I thought that Gaddafi was a dictator and he was a bad person and he needed to be ousted. But subsequently I realized that there are a lot of people who support Gaddafi. And the way his army is fighting for him, it shows that he's still got a big chunk of society behind him. Now that may be major part of the society or the minor part of the society, doesn't matter, but there's a big part of the society which supports Gaddafi. But what's happening is, as I said, the truth about a rebellion is decided by the winning side. If Gaddafi wins this war, he will declare all the rebels as terrorists and their leaders will be hanged. Their rebellion will be declared illegitimate. If the rebels win this battle, they will declare that Gaddafi was a tyrant dictator and he will be executed. So basically, when there is a rebellion, it's not about whose cause was legitimate. The winning side is always legitimate and the losing side is always illegitimate. So irrespective of whether Gaddafi is a good person or a bad person, now the truth about this rebellion will be written by the winning side. But as outsiders, what can we do or what should we do? As a matter of fact, I can state, as outsiders, we have got no business to muck around with what's happening in Libya. It's none of our business and we should stay out of it. That's the first truth. It's the people of Libya who have decided to pick up guns and fight their government. It's their choice. Now it's the victory will be theirs as well as defeat will be theirs. We should have nothing to do with it. Simply because there are two sides in Libya, one that supports Gaddafi and one that supports rebels. If we support one side and help it win the war, the people who belong to the other side, they will become our enemies. And if they won't be able to fight us properly in a proper battle, they'll take to the worst form of guerrilla warfare that is popular nowadays, that is terrorism. And we'll have more problems at our hands. So my suggestion to the entire world community is stay out of Libya. Let them sort out their things. If you people are worried about the human rights violation, that aspect, then all I would like to say is, if things get too bad, then rather than attacking in support of one side or imposing sanctions like no-fly zone, which is a NATO habit, which is a bad habit. The only thing we can do is, and which should be done is, Libya will have to be divided into two countries. One country for the rebels and one independent country for those who are loyal to Gaddafi. There is no other way, no other proper way in case there are human rights violations. And that would have to be done in the name of United Nations, but the only armies that should be involved in that would be armies from non-NATO countries. For most part of it. I'll give you examples of India, China, Brazil, Germany, France, Iran, and possibly Russia. Now these are the sides who will have support of majority of the countries of the world. China in itself is one single big entity which has got its own loyalists. Germany is a neutral country. It may have association with NATO, possibly friendly relations with US and England as well, although I don't hold anything against England. The thing is, Germany is still a neutral country because even Germany has fought against US, Britain and France at one point or the other. So they are more or less neutral country. France is a proper partner of NATO. So basically France will be representing NATO. India is sort of a new trusted AD of US, although I would like to inform the people of the world that other than the Congress regime of India, the rest of India is neutral. We are not anyone's puppets. Anyway, China, as I already mentioned, is a separate entity, while Iran is a country which represents Muslims. It's the pride of Muslims, Iran. That's why it should be there. And Russia, it has had good and bad relations both ways with sort of entire world, and so in a way neutral. These are the armies which should go under the name of United Nations and help the division of country into two. And the reason I say the country should be divided into two and the sizes should be determined depending upon the population size that wants to stay with one party, because if we won't do that, there will definitely be human rights violations. But we cannot support one of the two sides because that will create animosities against us. And because it's not a revolution, it's a rebellion, I don't think Western world should justify either side. Either side could be right, either side could be wrong. If we let them decide it on their own, the winning side will decide who was legitimate, who was right, and who was illegitimate or wrong. And the thing is, the winning side will definitely resort to some sort of human rights violations. We didn't tell the people of Libya to pick up weapons to kill those who were supporting government. It was their choice. They could have chosen the path of peace as well. Now what's the difference between the two? The path of peace and the using arms. Why do you think is the army fighting in favor of Gaddafi? Simply because he's got the big support of his population. And why has he got the support of population? Because they don't support the rebels. If everybody wanted a change, they would have not picked up guns, but they would have taken up to peaceful methods. And in that case, the people who are serving as soldiers in army, they wouldn't have fought for Gaddafi. Simply because those soldiers are related to ordinary people who live on the streets. And those ordinary people would have told them that you are our brother, you are our son, don't fight against us. We want change, we want the betterment of Libya, and for that we need to get Gaddafi out. Please don't fight against us. And that's when the army wouldn't have supported Gaddafi. But if the army is supporting Gaddafi, that means there are people in the society who are not against Gaddafi. And that means if we help the rebels, we will be creating enemies with animosities with people who support Gaddafi. And if we support Gaddafi, we will be creating animosities with the people who were rebels. In either case, we stand to lose, because the people who will lose because of us, they will become terrorists and start killing us. So for our own good, we should either stay out of Libya or divide it into two parts. Whichever way do you think is better. But that's the basic difference between revolution and rebellion. Revolution is supported by the entire society. A rebellion is only an act of a part of the society. Thanks for watching, guys.